Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Crone House. Today, for Motley Monday, I thought I would bring you along. I have lots going on, getting ready for the solstice, for the season of solstice, summer solstice, or the season of Litha, Midsummer, as many of us call it. I have so much to do. I have so much going on at this time of the year, and I thought it would be important for me to explain to you that one of the reasons I'm able to do as many things as I do is I try to do as many things ahead of time as I can. I try to prepare. You see me all the time making things for my witch's cupboard. I make sure I have incenses and oils and witch's ladders and puppets ready to go anytime I need them. I have a good supply of my herbs, and I have a good supply in my kitchen as well, in my pantries, in our house. We have food storage. We're prepared with all kinds of food storage, and we harvest from our garden and preserve things, and we dry things, and so it's important for us to do that. And that's a lot of work. I have to tell you, it's a lot of work. So one of the things I want to say to you is we do the work because we like to play. We have a lot of fun. And we have a family that loves to get together, and we have friends who like to get together and do a lot of things. And particularly in this time of the year, all of us are going and starting having picnics and starting to make trips to the beach. Some of us are going on vacations or to the lake or the cabin, or getting together for family reunions or school picnics, all kinds of things going on. And the way to do it, the best way to do it, is to make sure you're prepared ahead of time with some of the work that needs to be done. Now, this is a very, very big time for me. And technically, it's not, the solstice doesn't begin till next week, but today marks the beginning of it for me. Today is the 16th of June, and you can see my pretty flowers here. They came from my garden, by the way. My husband brought those in to me today, saying, "See what I grew for you." Because today marks the anniversary of our very first date, which was, I have to tell you, excuse me, 56 years ago today. We went on a girlfriend of mine was having a birthday party, and her father was a farmer, and she was going to have a hayride. He was going to take all of us out on a hayride, and it was a girl invite boy party, and I invited a boy, which ended up to be my husband today. That was 56 years ago. I can't believe it. But we mark the beginning of our season with that date, because so many things come after that. We also have my grandson's birthdays around this time, and we also have Father's Day around this time, my birthday. We have the solstice, of course. We have a lot of things, and this year we're even adding another celebration on our calendar, because my grandson is graduating from college this weekend. So there's a celebration with that. So we have so many celebrations going on, and it would be crazy to try to, if we didn't have a good plan, what our contributions would be. And usually we always contribute together. And one of the things I'm asked to contribute a lot is cocktails. And I'm not a big cocktail maker. I only make a few, but the ones that I make are things for the most part, come from, at least in part, from my garden here in my home at the Crone House. And I'm gonna I went to find some to make sure I had some videos for you to explain how I did some of these things. And I have to tell you, I had trouble finding the videos. They're really buried in there. And I always was so clever with naming my videos that which I thought I was being clever, but I really didn't do us a service at all, because it's really hard to find some things that I wanted to share that I thought you might want to have. So I thought today I would show you, talk about what I'm making, and give you a little link below in the description box if you want to see the whole video about me actually making, the process of me making these things, or some of the stories behind them. You can do so. But if you just want the facts, ma'am, just the facts, you can watch this video, and I'll try to help, give you as much as I can. Okay, I think you remember not too long ago, I made my herbal grimoire. I at least started my herbal grimoire here, where I showed you how I took this little notebook and I made I mean, this is a whole video on this, so if you want to see that video again, you can. But basically, I divided, this is things that I use, things that I make out of, that I keep in my cupboard, using things that I have in, for the most part, the things that I either grow or I glean, or I, I include brews, I include brews, I include potions. And then I have an index in the back where I have photographs and little descriptions of these wild herbs in case I find them out in the wild and I want to use them for tinctures or for teas or for some other kind of things. But today we are going to be talking about tipples. What is a tipple? What's a tipple? What a funny word. Well, it's a word I used in my book because I thought it was cute to go with the teas for the with the under brews. I had teas, tinctures, tonics, tipples, and toddies were my categories under there. But they're, just to differentiate between the types of brews. And brews are things that are ingested by drinking them. That's basically all it is. Some are based on tea or herbs, or some are based on alcohol-based, like tinctures. Some are based on alcohol for pleasure. Some of them are, if they're warm, they're a toddy. If they're not warm, they're not meant to be ingested while they're not warm, whether it's cold or room temperature, whatever. That's a tipple. That's what we're talking about today. Is a tipple. It's alcohol for pleasure. And the ones I make here at the Crone House, the ones we serve, we have a couple basic kinds only because they are using our garden. And the one of our most popular, which I'm going to show you first, is the Grapefruit Jalapeno Margarita. Now we're going to do two different kinds of margaritas here. We're going to have a Grapefruit Jalapeno Margarita, which is what my grandson requested for his celebration party for his graduation. So that's why I'm doing that. I'm getting ready for that today. And we also are, I can tell you a little bit about how we can turn that into just a regular garden margarita if we want it just for, picnics, pool parties, those kind of things. Okay, the reason I do the Grapefruit Jalapeno Margaritas, the ingredients in them are tequila, yes, but jalapenos, which I grow, grapefruit juice, which I grow, lime juice, which I grow, and recently triple sec, which I just started to make, and out of oranges that I grow, and also we sometimes will use berries, and I'll tell you about it in a minute, like in a berry, which we came about by accident, berries and berry infused vodka in those two to flavor them. And these would be berries that I also grow, such as blueberries, strawberries, boysenberries, okay, in my garden. So it's basically things that I grow, and it's a little more personal. It's not better. It might be better to go out and get really expensive tequila and really expensive triple sec, etc., etc. But my family doesn't care about that. We don't care about that. So this is why I do it the way I'm doing it here. So it is a basic thing, and I'm not going to demonstrate the whole recipe for you, but I want to show you one thing that is preparing beforehand. What is very important to prepare beforehand. I can't just pull them out of my refrigerator. First of all, grapefruits here in California are only in season probably twice a year. There's like two main crops a year, where lemons are on the tree all year, limes pretty much most of the year, oranges pretty much most of the year, but grapefruit, they come twice a year. So when they come, a lemon tree will hold lemons until it can't hold them anymore, and then they'll drop them, and they're still good. But so we don't really harvest lemons off a tree really, unless it gets really crazy overcrowded. We just use them as we need them. But grapefruits don't stay on the tree, and they drop bombs on my chickens. So, and also we have some tree rats that love them, and they will eat them out. So we get them off the tree as soon as we can, and we juice them and we freeze the juice. So that's how I prepare the grapefruit, because what we use the grapefruit juice here is basically only for margaritas. I use it for margaritas. I will use it for, in a, sometimes in a citrus marmalade, and sometimes I use it in And the peels. I love to candy the peels. They make wonderful. I candy all the peels of all of these, of all of my citruses. Okay, so I got carried away. But anyway, the grapefruit juice has been frozen. It is basically, my recipe is equal parts, however amount you want to make, of grapefruit juice, lime juice, fresh lime juice, which I also freeze, and simple syrup. Those three things in equal parts. And I make that in a big pitcher or big jars or whatever, equal parts. It could be 1 cup, 1 cup, 1 cup, 2 cups, 2 cups, 2 cups, however much you want to make. And then per glass, we add the tequila, which is, in this case, it is infused with jalapeno. And we usually, to make it a real margarita, we would put in some triple sec. Usually 3 parts to 1. 3 parts of tequila to 1 part of triple sec, sort of. It's taste. So you put in the glass. You know, people do different things. Okay, so in this case, but I have to have the tequila and it has to be infused. And that's what I'm doing today. And it's such a simple step. I take a jar and I take some tequila. This one's out. See, I have this already. I mean, it's already, I only have this much left. This is the jalapeno tequila that I had from the last time I did them. So I'm going to start fresh with a new bottle of tequila. If I can get this off. And basically my recipe for this is you take 2 cups of tequila and a white tequila. And this is just Trader Joe's Blanco. It's tequila. It's plain. It's nothing fancy to it. And let me see if I can get that. I love these bottles because these bottles are really good to reuse for other things. I have these old canning jars that have markings on them and something else on them. What's that? Oh, it's on the outside. It's okay. It's on the outside. It has cup measures on the outside. 8 cups, 16 cups, 8 ounces, 12 ounces, 16 ounces, and 20 ounces, and then it would be 24 ounces, I guess. Anyway, I would normally just put 2 cups and a jalapeno, but my jalapenos are pretty big. They're pretty big. So I'm going to fill the jar. So I'm going to try to do 2 jars of this. And I am taking this jalapeno and I am slicing the jalapeno and putting it in. I'm not removing the seeds. I'm not removing the little membranes. I'm not removing anything except the stem. And no, none for you. I certainly don't want this. If there's a few seeds that just stay on the board, I'm going to leave them on the board. I know you can't see it, but I'm just cutting little slices like that. Bang, leave it. And they're in there. And the seeds that fell on the board, whoops, the seeds that fell on the board, I'm just leaving on the board. I'm going to show you that. I don't need to include every one. So I just have the seeds, the jalapenos in the bottom of the jar, and I'm going to fill it with tequila. And I have to go, for sure, I have to go up to 16. But if I have enough tequila, I'm going to go up to. I'm going to put it at 16 first, and I'm going to see if I have any more tequila before I go the whole way. Okay, so we're just going to do the same thing to the other jar with my other jalapeno. And now, the first time I made this ever, my children had a big joke about this. I read it, the recipe said just to infuse overnight and then strain the jalapenos out of the tequila, pour the tequila back in the bottle, and it's ready to serve, and it'll stay like that for a long time. But I didn't. I thought my family really likes jalapenos, and they don't mind a little bit of heat. So I just kind of was casual about it, and I think I left these jalapenos in there for several days. Left them in for several days. And it was spicy. And when we had it at a party, I thought, this is too spicy, nobody's gonna want it. So I watered it down with some vodka. So we have a joke. If your drink is too strong, add some vodka. And then we had a party. We had a little family celebration. Maybe it was when my grandson went away to college, I'm not sure. But because he loves these so much. And we had somebody had some raspberry vodka, which they were adding raspberry vodka to it, made it really good. So then I looked that up because I thought, I have berries. I have lots of berries all the time. And it says you can do the same thing. You put your fruit in the jar. But in this case, you would put about 2 cups of fruit, whatever berry you have in the bottom of the jar. And then you can fill that with vodka. I wouldn't put tequila. I put vodka and let that infuse, 3 to 5 days, something like that. And then you strain that out and then you can keep that. But you need to probably keep that, use that up a little faster than you use this up. Okay, I'm gonna see what happens when I put 2 cups in here. And I do not even have enough to put 2. So I'm going to get another bottle of tequila. And I'm going to fill them up to at least, up to probably the 20 line, probably up to here. Okay, so I don't need to do that on camera. You know how to do that. That's easy. So then I'm just going to put these in the refrigerator, or not even the refrigerator, just leave it out on the counter like this until tomorrow. Sometime tomorrow, I will get them out and I will strain those jalapenos out of here and then put it back in the bottle and put it back in with this. And we'll have some wonderful grapefruit jalapeno margaritas for my grandson's graduation party. Okay. Now, what I want to show you is, I said you needed to use triple sec in the recipe. And usually we would use something like this, triple sec, and you can see I still have some in here. But I had an experiment and I made some, and I don't know if I did this on camera or not, but I made some homemade triple sec using oranges. And as you can see, you saw me shaking it, because there was still like a little bit of pulp of the oranges left in there. And this has been months. I did this, and I did the triple sec. I think it was, I combined the zest and juice of oranges, some simple syrup again, and vodka all together, and put that away for like 2 months, and then I decanted that into a bottle. I think I probably showed you that, I'm not sure. And I like that, and it tastes really good. But I'm gonna try the next time to do it a little different way, and I will show you that when I get to the next cocktail on here. I think I'm gonna try to do it that way. Okay, but anyway, either one of these works. And as a matter of fact, this is something I would use in my garden margaritas for sure, because my garden margaritas would have the triple sec that I make out of my oranges, and it would have lime out of my lime that I grow, and that would be good. Simple syrup, and again, tequila. No grapefruits, because I wouldn't be putting any jalapenos in them. So there's that. It's just, combining whatever you have is so much fun. Just use what you have. Okay? So the note I have to make is I'm going to leave these out until I get a little more, open another bottle of tequila, and then I will fill those up, and tomorrow they will be strained, and I will be all ready for the party. 3, 2, 1. The second beverage that I'm preparing for some of our celebrations coming up is plain lemonade. I've actually got 2 kinds of lemonade, actually 3 kinds of lemonade that I'm going to be using for some different things. And I wanted to show you a good way to do this. Now, this first method I have, I believe I got it off of from Chef John on YouTube here. But I have used the same method for other things, including the limoncello that I made for you several years ago. I'm not sure. And I have a recipe on that. A video on that. It's called When Life Gives You Lemons. And I will put a link in the description box so you can watch that video as well. It's very good. That is the best limoncello I've ever had. Limoncello, actually. I talk a little bit about it. It's a process that's made over, I couldn't do it now. It takes several months. It's a long process, but it's worth it. It's very easy. Anybody can do it. coincidentally, I made that limoncello on a wedding anniversary of mine not too long ago, and I believe I had when I made it, and I believe I had roses from my husband in that video. So that was kind of a coincidence. But anyway, this is the same principle, the same technique for making this lemonade that we use for the limoncello, and I'm thinking this is a good method to make for my new method of making the triple sec, homemade triple sec like orange liquor. I think I might do it the same way, because this takes, and I'll show you, maybe you can see in my bowl here, this is the peel of a lemon, of oranges. The peel, and in this case it's lemons. The peel, very, very thin, using a vegetable peeler and not taking care not to get any of the white. The white is the pith, and that's bitter, but it's easy. I show you in my video how to make the limoncello, how easy it is to scrape that pith off. It's very easy. And all I had to do for this, yesterday I prepared all of these peels. So this is the peel. I believe I have a dozen oranges in here. I mean lemons. The peel of a dozen lemons, and my lemons are pretty sizable. Pretty nice big lemons off my tree. And then I mixed in with it 2.5 cups of sugar. It's very syrupy and very gloppy. As you can see, it's really gross. It's sort of disgusting. But you know, sugar is, you can't make lemonade without sugar. I don't care, you just can't do it. And please don't say, oh, there's a million other kind of sweeteners. No, there's not. No, there's not. Not for lemonade made at the Grown House. We like real foods and natural foods. Sugar is a wonderful preservative. Sugar is not, we eat too much of it. We shouldn't eat it. We should not eat fake sugar, but real sugar is not gonna hurt anybody. This is pure cane sugar, and it's organic. And it's fine for lemonade. But I had this soaking overnight, masturbating overnight. And I realized in one of my videos, it sounded like I was saying masturbating and I was saying masturbating. So I need to remember to speak more succinctly. Now what I need to add is some water. I have some filtered water that I've heated up to the boil. I want to get it warm. For this amount of lemons, I need 10 cups of water. And I'm just going to stir that into this, and I'm going to let the sugar dissolve. And then I'm going to let this, I'm going to stir for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to just remove these peels. I'm going to strain the peels out of it and then allow that to cool down before I add the juice of all these lemons. And you see some of these lemons. These are some big lemons, nice big juicy lemons off of my tree. Which you see, I just used the peel, left the white behind. Okay, so it turned out my lemons were way too big to put into my little hand lemon juicer, so I had to put them into my bigger lemon juicer, my electric lemon juicer, citrus juicer, so I didn't get to show you that. It was nothing that you needed to see, but the lemons were so big that they would not fit in my regular hand juicer that I like so much. I use it all the time. I'm not complaining. It happens from time to time here. We get pretty big lemons sometimes, and particularly after the winter that we've had here in California, so much rain. That tree, they just grew and grew and grew. It was just amazing. It was good for our trees, good for our citrus, but it just cut into some of my time. So I'm going to be making, to be clear, now I have the bowls. I don't know if you can see the bowls behind me. Let me see if I can move. On the counter behind me, I have the mixture with the lemon juice and sugar water mixture in one bowl, and then, the lemon from the juice from the peels in the big bowl, and then in the smaller bowl, I have my juice it's pretty full. It is the lemon juice that I just took from the peeled lemons. Okay, I'm just allowing the big bowl to come to room temperature, then they will just be combined. I will put them in bottles and get them in to the refrigerator so they're nice and cold. We're not going to be using them till tomorrow night. Use some of them tomorrow night and some of them perhaps on Sunday. So what am I going to do with them to flavor them? Well, different things. We can eat them plain. We can drink them plain. And like I said, some of them I'm going to make one bottle just plain lemonade. I'm going to make another bottle strawberry lemonade just from strawberries in my garden. I'm going to be making a little syrup out of strawberries that I've picked from the garden today. And well, these were from yesterday. I have some more to add to it today. I'm just simply going to put these in the blender and then strain out the seeds and add that to one of the bottles for strawberry lemonade flavor. And then I'm going to do a third lemonade, which is a ginger flavored lemonade, which is made with fresh ginger. And that one is just making a simple syrup, a ginger flavored simple syrup, which I just make simple syrup like always, but add some fresh ginger to that. And then when that is cool, I can strain that and add some fresh lemon juice and some water and that's really good. Okay. And then what do I do with all the lemonade? Well, we can have it plain. We can have it plain if people don't want alcohol, but we can add vodka, just plain vodka to it. Vodka. Here I have my favorite vodka. Vodka the gods, which I use for all my brewing. Any kind of a simple vodka will do. And if we add vodka to lemonade, which is what we affectionately call hard Amy's after our friend. That was her answer to, I think they were hard mics. We used to be able to buy those in bottles. No, she just would bring some lemonade and vodka, and that was her drink of choice. So we had that. In the dark times when we had our black dinner, we used black vodka and made dark Amy's out of that. We also had hot Amy's if we want. We called them hot Amy's if we wanted to add the jalapeno tequila to the lemonade. That would make a hot Amy. And we usually call the ginger lemonade. We call that after a friend of ours, Ursula. So if we wanted to add some liquor to that, we would call it a hard Ursula or a hot Ursula, or even a actually we call them a horny Ursula. Okay, so anyway, it's just preparing ahead of time, and you can also add ginger ale to mix them with some ginger ale and some maybe lime, which is really good, and into the lemonade. Or you could add make Arnold Palmer with adding it with some tea. So there's all kinds of opportunities for you to enjoy a lot of different drinks. So it's good for a crowd. If you just have these little ingredients out and they can make their own, drink it the way they want, make their own concoctions, and it's really a lot of fun. But again, it's preparing ahead of time things that you want to do and killing more than one bird with a stone. Doing for different events, different celebrations that are going to be coming back to back to back to back. Okay, so I will show you the limoncello. I will link to the limoncello recipe. And again, check out this book because all of these recipes are here in my book. All of the methods and procedures all in one place, using the citrus from the garden, the berries from the garden, and the peppers from the garden in this case too. So we have one more cocktail to do, not necessarily inspired by my garden, but I've done this before, and I will break here and I will get my new things together here, and I will be right back. The very last drink that I'm going to make for you today, I've made before. I have a video. This was the hardest one to find. That's why I got the idea that I had to show it here. It's in a video that I did, I believe in 2020. I did a series, 30 Days of Halloween, and in that playlist, there was a video entitled What We Fear. And I told the story Bloody Mary, I think, in there. Bloody Mary, What We Fear at Halloween. the meaning of Bloody Mary, I'm not sure, and also my Bloody Mary, which I do not fear at all, which is absolutely fantastic. This is my go-to refrigerator drink. I like to keep a jar of this. It's just an old mayonnaise jar that I from time to time since I was married, I've done this. My friend, my best friend for college, taught me this trick, and not a trick, but it's really handy to have. And I'm doing this particularly for Father's Day this year. My husband, who is not my father, but he's other people's fathers who will be celebrating with him, he will probably have a beer. He will probably have a beer or a glass of wine or something, but he will request that I have a Bloody Mary because he knows how much I love them, and he loves me. And I think one of my daughters will probably share this with me. She loves them a lot too. So we'll see. But anyway, this is something that'll keep in the refrigerator for days. Very simple. And I showed you the recipe. This is my recipe. I like them dirty, which means I include olives in them. That's why I drink them. And I like to have it with a V8 rather than tomato juice. That's just my preference. And I don't grow this V8, but I'm gonna develop a recipe. I don't think it's hard to be able to make my own, but for right now I'm gonna do it. So I like this size jar. This is a quart mayonnaise jar, glass. It's glass, make sure it's glass. You can use a candy jar, whatever you want, but if you want to make it, but I measure where it comes on the jar. And for this, I want to put on this straight side of the jar, I want to go about halfway with my V8. So there's nothing wrong. You just want to leave room. You want to leave room for the olive brine, and that's what makes it dirty, olive brine. And our house olives we use all the time are garlic stuffed olives. I also have some pimento stuffed olives in the refrigerator. It might be easier to pour from. It doesn't matter, just olive brine is what you want. My camera cut off and I kind of lost some of this, but I can show you here my video very easily, my recipe very easily. It's so easy. And you can see the whole thing being made on the video linked below, What We Fear, okay? I basically, on the straight side of here, I went about halfway with V8 juice. That is about 1 3/4 cups of V8 if you want the recipe. Then I went about a cup of vodka, which took me just a little bit down from the shoulder. There's the shoulder, about 3/4 of an inch down. Then I added to the shoulder olive brine. I went up to the shoulder with olive brine from my olives. And then I added just simply a tablespoon of Worcestershire and about 2 tablespoons of hot sauce and freshly cracked pepper. This is it. It was so simple. To serve, you get a rocks glass. You put some ice in the bottom of your rocks glass. You put a couple olives on a toothpick or a skewer, put it in the bottom, throw it in on your ice, pour this over top, and enjoy it. And then the reason you put the olives in first is they're going to infuse the Bloody Mary liquor into cocktail into the olives, and they're going to be the best olives you ever had. Okay, I hope this works for you. I know that you really care about the recipes, but I was trying to bring you some idea of the kind of things that are going to get us through the summer here at the Grown House with all of our celebrations. Lots of lemonade, lots of spiked lemonade of all kinds, lots of fruity lemonade, lots of margaritas, both garden margaritas and spicy grapefruit jalapeno margaritas, and Bloody Marys in a jar. Other than that, it's just any other day of the year. Thank you so much for watching. All the blessings to you and your family and friends at Litha and throughout Midsummer season. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Rebecca, and I wish you blessings.